Ladies and gentlemen, the moment we've all been waiting for. Let's get ready to rumble. Listen, we are in the house, y'all. We are in the house. For those of you that's been tapping all the way in and waiting, right, let me get on screen. We appreciate it, man. I got somebody special in the house today. He came a long way. He came from Reading, PA. It's my good friend. He's also a client of Just Bless Media. And listen, he is absolutely crushing the game right now. He has a real estate team, and he's doing a lot of amazing things. He's trying to make his mark in Philadelphia because there's more properties in Philly than in Reading right now. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce to you Mr. Nehemiah Lindo.
Hey, what's up, everyone? How you guys doing?
What's going on, Nehemiah? Yo, thanks. Seriously, bro. Thanks for coming. Thanks for tapping all the way in. And,
It's a pleasure.
Giving us the opportunity to not only hang out and to network, but, to get to the nitty gritty, to get a little bit of your story and to get a little bit of those gems, man, because you're obviously doing something right. And, kudos to you. And that actually makes a great segue for our sponsors for today, right? We want to give a shout out to Kimberly Cantor with Allstate. Listen, if you are looking for insurance and you just need a quote, listen, look at the bottom of the screen right now. You can get a free insurance quote with Kimberly from Allstate and the Brian Petriozelio, I butchered that, insurance agency. But without further ado, Nehemiah, bro, you're here, man.
Yeah, man.
What is going on, man? How was 2022 for you?
2022, man, it was a fun ride. Definitely, there was a lot of things I've learned and a lot of things we had to implement with the shifts in the market, but we made those changes. So we're so excited for 2023 and what the future holds.
Listen, and before we started, you were talking to one of your investors. Can you give me a little bit of backstory of like why Philadelphia is looking like a good market for you and your clients?
For our clients, is just the opportunities. I believe is a bigger market. Philadelphia County has 1.6 million people in it, where in my county we only have 430,000 people. Just doing research in the market, there was 17,100 transactions that were done in 2022 for the Philadelphia County, where in my market we only have 4,800 properties that were sold this year in Berks County. So us being in that county, we still sold over 160 units.
Whew.
And I just think is a good opportunity where we can be in an area where there's a lot more opportunities and a lot more expansion. Definitely.
Absolutely. Man, how much production did you guys do this year?
So in terms of production, so today we have 2 more closings with some team members. We'll be finishing out the year with 163 units sold, just shy of hitting 32 million.
Man.
Yeah. So it was fun. We were expecting a little bit more, but we're very happy and content. 2021 we hit 23 million, so we did increase our volume and units, and we're still a relatively new team band, so that's our goal.
Man, can you give me a little backstory about your team? I had the opportunity to meet Connor Hickey,
Yes.
20-year-old. Listen, shout out to Connor. Connor, if you are watching this, bro.
Shout out to Connor.
Yo, like that was so encouraging. Because we're in a new wave, man, the information age,
Correct.
Entrepreneurship,
Correct.
And like you said, opportunities, and like being able to identify opportunities is very important, especially for someone in real estate, because, we're trying to identify those opportunities for our clients, right? So how did you meet Connor, and tell me a little bit about the rest of your team and little backstory.
Yeah, man. So just the reason why I started my team, I feel like I was in an area where, there's not a lot of information or a lot of agents that are willing to help out younger real estate agents. When I got into the business, I was only 22 years old, or I was like 23. So there was a lot of things I had to learn the hard way, and just pretty much I would like to help younger agents because I can kind of be like that source of resource where I can cut out their learning curve. So, um, given me that I have that opportunity to help someone else out, I'm always willing to help out younger agents, and I just think it's a powerful vehicle because sales is where you're able to have options and freedom, and you can create value in the marketplace. And sales is the best way where you can have really the life you want to have. And I saw that early on. So that's what got me into real estate. And of course, with the success I was seeing, it was just time for me to really start a team. And I did that in 2021 of March last year. And it just went up from there.
Tell me a little bit about some of your other teammates. How many you got on your team?
So right now we have Connor Hickey, we have Christina Henriquez. She was another agent. She started last year, and when she got plugged into our team, she started seeing immediate success. I believe she'll close out with 24 units this year. So she was a new realtor. So 24 units your first year is really good. And
Shout out to her.
Yeah,
Shout out to her.
Yeah, and she
That's
did
what's
about I believe she'll hit like 4.7 million this year. So
She's a brand new agent.
brand new agent.
Rookie Realtor of the Year. Come on now.
Yeah,
And what was her name?
Christina Henriquez.
Christina. Man, shout out to you, Christina. That's so encouraging, man. And I guess for you as the team leader, right, you must take a lot of pride in like being able to, because like what you said, that's what I've experienced. And honestly, that's why we're here today. That's why I have this platform. And I know you asked me a question before we started. You said, what do you like more, reels or podcasts? And it's, this is what I was telling one of my good friends. It's always
Right.
you need both. But for me, it was like I got into this space because it was the only way I felt like I could get some real information, where people would actually give me real game on like how they're really making money. Because it, like you said, it's like, it seems like a secret at times where, the
Right.
older people that are more seasoned, more successful, they don't really want to give, their little tricks and tips. So
Right.
it's amazing for somebody like you to kind of come in young. How old are you?
I'm 27. Just
27. Man, shout out to you, bro. Like,
Appreciate that, man.
that's awesome.
And
yeah.
then we have one more team member, Luis Martinez. I didn't want to leave him out. Yeah, he was our first team member. He's a vital role to our team. Great connector, great networker. He'll hit about 5 million or 4.8 million, this year. He's been in the business like 2-3 years. So I connected with him, and he was a great addition as well. So I always had the vision for my team to what I've noticed in my marketplace. Pretty much a lot of the teams, they'll have the team leader and then everybody else. For my team and my vision for my brand is I wanted also to create heavy hitters, and I kind of have the San Antonio Spurs mentality, where all of us play fundamental roles, but it's not about me being better than anyone else. It's really having that team culture, and we all we're really pretty much good together, right? It's not about stardom or who's better than the other person, but it's all about having that team mindset. So that's really my my motto for my team.
Nice, man. And I heard this quote before, like, I want a team so strong that they don't even know who the leader is, right?
Yeah, exactly.
All top producers, all people crushing it. And wow, so man, honestly, I want to take this time to shout out to your team, man. That's awesome. You guys have an amazing leader right here. Tap all the way in with him.
I appreciate that.
Nehemiah, tell me a little bit about yourself. Like, who is Nehemiah Lindo? Where do you come from? Like, what do you like to do?
Yeah, so Nehemiah Lindo. So I was raised in church all my life. Grew up Pentecostal, but yeah, man, I've been a church boy. But I would say I grew up in school. I went to a charter school. I would say they gave me a lot of good insight into, just appreciating um, education and learning things like that. But yeah, what I like to do is play basketball. I like working out. I love cooking. I'm a good cook. I could cook.
You gotta throw down there, man.
Yes, sir. But then I play music, so I'm a musician. I play piano, play some drums as well. I actually play in my local church at GT Church.
Shout out to them. That's where I got started, was in the ministry. So shout out.
Yes, shout out to that. It gave me a lot of foundation, and actually, I'll say it was a vital role to my success as being a realtor. Um, because ministry is a grind, and helping people out with certain church events or whatever the case is, and we do that for free. So I kind of pretty much put that same mentality into real estate. But yeah, that kind of gave me the foundation as a kid. And then I went to college, of course. I went to LBC, Lancaster Bible College. Gave me a whole different perspective of the Word of God. And then I went into real estate. So I would say my journey is kind of not traditional, but I appreciate it.
No doubt. And that's something we have in common as well, because I feel like I got prepared in the ministry to do what I'm doing now. I got my skill set with live streaming right when COVID hit, and everybody had to go online. It wasn't an option for anybody, business owners or churches.
Right.
And it kind of like, but the one thing that it did, bro, was like it showed me the power of broadcasting, of live streaming, of being able to, like, I'm real big on like just going out and doing it, because why not? There's so much at our fingertips.
Correct.
Like, our cell phones are basically computers.
Yeah.
And like a lot of the work that I do with content creation is like, I can do a lot of it on my phone. You know what I'm saying? And then it gets to be like, man, like, let's get this Wi-Fi money. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
Let's get this Wi-Fi money.
Yeah, man, I would say like the digital space is where it's at. And especially as a realtor, it definitely helped me grow my business, where, a lot of agents do not take advantage of Facebook, Instagram, and, you meet incredible people, and also you get tons of free money in the way of, if you're able to market to the right people, you can really convert that into a business. And that really got me started. Of course, you still do need like to have some connections or know certain people, but just literally through Facebook or Instagram or whatever the case is, because people see you everywhere, they're going to want to work with you. And of course, you got to have then the back end systems to support what you're broadcasting out into the social space. But if you can do that, then you can really just monetize what you got going for yourself.
Yeah, man. And like, content is king, right? And I ended the year just by just repeatedly just saying, like, you are the content, because in like the job that I do, like having a media company, providing marketing services, it can get a little bit tricky, because it's almost like you got to become a magician, to try to make people's dreams come true. And the thing that I try to like impart into people is that the dream is going to come true within the process, within the work, within the grind. And I know one of like our first conversations where we really hit it off, we were just talking about, the distance between, Reading and Philly. And you were like, bro, like, what's up? Like, I'm ready.
Yeah, exactly.
And even like, shout out to Jen Groover, the Formula to Get More, because that's where I met you at.
Correct. That was a great event.
Recap on that, bro. What did you get out of that? That joint was.
It was great. It was just really essential life principles, man. Like having that balance between, success and also with relationships and family and business relationships. And you really need to be right in your mind, because, let's say you make a lot of money, but if your mindset's not right, it's going to, you're not going to be able to maintain what you are making. So what I've learned is all about being a good steward of everything you do possess, so that you can keep it, right? Doesn't make sense to make $100,000, but you only keep 10 grand, right? So it's all about stewarding what God gives you.
Man, amen to that. Formula to get more for anybody that's watching. Like, what was that? Check out Jen Groover. She has a book on Amazon. We recently did an event, Formula to Get More, and she was just talking about, how do we get clear for this new year, and how can we get more? And a lot of the times it's those personal things, it's those expectations of others, just a lot of things that me going into 2023, I'm just so grateful because I can look at 2022 and say, man, I grew. I'm not the same person.
Correct.
I grew in business. I grew in my relationships. I, grew my network. And it's a beautiful feeling to know that you're going into a new year heavy. You know what I'm saying? Correct. Heavy. But yeah, when we met, right, you said something to me, and it almost like, and for anybody that's a business owner, right, I want you guys to tap in real quick because I deal with a lot of business owners that, they want to go to the next level, whether it's content creation, social media, podcasts, whatever the case may be, right? And I never dealt with someone that, like, Nehemiah looked at me and he said, I want to invest in my business. I'm going to grow my business this year. I was like, whoa. Or he was like, next year, I'm planning on growing my business. But he said it with like a conviction, and I was like, man, this guy's no joke. And then we were talking on the phone. It was like 9 p.m. I'm just getting home. And he's like, yeah, man, I'm not even back to Reading yet. I'm just actually passing Philly. I'm like, yo, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What markets are you in, Nehemiah?
I mean, our team, we go all the way down to York County, Lancaster County. That's south of where we are. And then we go a little bit west. We're going to go out to Dauphin County. That's like Harrisburg, which is the capital of Pennsylvania. Then we're willing to go a little bit north where we hit Allentown, Lehigh County, and then we're willing to go all the way out to Philly. So we cover a pretty broad range. I have done business in Philly. We've done business in all those areas. So we're aware of all the markets, and we are also sending out reports for 2022 to our clients just so that they know about the different markets, because it's very good for a consumer to know and compare, other areas so that they're aware of their home values versus another area's home values. So we just love to provide tons of value.
That's the name of the game, baby, value. So real quick though, right, in regards to like what you just said, right, you were talking to your investor before we got on here, and like, if you could just recap, like, because it was like a lot of points you were driving home to your investor. Can you recap on that?
So my investor, he primarily invests in Pottstown. So when I met him, I got him into the Reading market. Properties were really good price. I mean, you could get a pretty much almost turnkey home for like $50,000-$60,000. So the first property I sold him was in Reading, and then he saw the return he was making. I was able to get him $1,300 in rent. And mind you, he only had to like change the water heater, and he did some painting to the cabinets in the kitchen. He only spent about like $6-7 grand. And I mean, he's making tons of a great return on that property. He still has those same tenants. I got him the tenant as well, and he's just cash flowing. And that property today could go easily for $150. Also has a garage in the back. But those were the type of deals I've been finding him. And right now, to find a good property under $100,000, and he's a contractor, so he doesn't really need something that's fixed up. But there's just not a lot of inventory where there's, the spread is really tight on margins and things like that, and construction costs. So I just told him, hey, like, would you do Philadelphia? And he said, definitely. He does know the area. He has bought some properties out in Norristown as well. But, he's willing to expand. So that's really
nice. That's
really where we got to go, because inventory is an issue in Pennsylvania, and I know it's an issue for the whole nation. But in PA, it's really tight. In our market in Berks County, we only have like 400 properties on the market. So it's slim pickings out here.
Man. Listen, if Dan, my brother-in-law, if you are watching, my brother-in-law is a wholesaler, and one of the last podcasts we did was about wholesaling real estate. So I'm tapping back into you, Dan. If you have any properties, send them over. You know,
Yes, sir.
my good friend
cash.
Nehemiah got all cash buyers.
All cash.
Listen, if you are watching this and you are trying to invest in real estate, you need to tap all the way in. And real quick, I just want to take a moment and pause and say, if anybody's watching this and is interested in getting their real estate license, starting a new career, just like me, because I'm just like you. Like I didn't have a background in this. I didn't know anything about real estate. I just, one day somebody told me that they thought I would be a good realtor. That somebody was Alexis Mato. Shout out to Close with Lexi on Instagram. And it really changed my life. And I want to give you an opportunity to change your life. Every Tuesday, we're doing a universal office meeting at our Mount Airy location in Germantown. And I would love to connect you to, some of our recruiting team, some of our agent development team, and get you plugged in because we have a sponsorship. You know, we're accepting a few applicants and giving them a free ride. Scholarship, I'm sorry. So, listen, back to the show. Oops. Boom. So, Nehemiah, right? Coming in strong, just killed these last couple years because it's not just like last year. The year before that was pretty decent too, right?
Yeah, we did 23 million, and that was our first year as a team.
What'd you do solo, bro?
Solo, I'm hitting around 16 million, back-to-back years. This market was a downshift market for most agents, but I just really learned to, this was the time I needed to implement more systems. So I hired a coach, and we got the team rocking and rolling with systems and implementations. Because as a solo agent, you start realizing that it's not really a true business because you're just pretty much running around. And if you don't have systems and processes in place, it's one thing to deal with 4 or 5 clients, but when you're dealing with 10, 15, 20 clients at a time, it gets very unsustainable. So having those systems and processes in place is the key so that you can sustain, so you can steward what you are receiving. Because if you don't have those systems in place, clients are going to feel like you're not giving them that service or, that value, and they're going to go somewhere else. So that's really key, where you're not only getting the clients, but you're keeping the clients. And then once you get them under contract, you're able to maintain communication throughout the process and be there for them until close and even after closing. And then there's a whole nother system for maintaining that relationship with your clients after you close with them, and having them feel confident that they could reach out to you at any time.
Yeah, you got to capture, nurture, and close. But to what you're saying, the ones that you close, making sure that you're following up, making sure that you're staying in front of them.
Pretty much like, hey, how's your house? If you need a contractor, just being a resource to them. That's literally what you are as a realtor. You're a connector.
And I was going to ask you that, like, for anybody that's tapping in right now, because I would assume that this type of content, probably a new realtor is probably checking it out, because I remember when I was a new realtor, I was like, going down the Google, YouTube hole, just trying to figure this thing out, right? So what about expansion, right? Are you accepting new team members?
Right now, we're always open to new team members. It just has to be the right team member, someone that will fit the mold of what I'm looking for.
Yeah, and kind of like before we started, you were saying like, and it was something that I believe in too, right? You got to have the right members. You know what I mean? You have to pick the right team.
Correct. That's vital. One person could really destroy your culture, so you got to be really, really careful on who you bring in, and then they got to fit. They got to fit to the vision, because if not, it will bring division.
Bro, Nuggets, we getting game over here. But no, that's so true. That's so true. And one bad apple can spoil the tree, right?
Yeah, correct. And it's. I mean, as you grow and you continue to build, then you know, one person won't have as much influence. But since we are still in our embryonic stages, it's very important to have the right culture. So when we do continue to build, that culture is already implemented and established.
And let me ask you something else, right? Like, what would you say like your unique value proposition is for the agents that come onto your team? I mean, besides everything you've already said to us.
So we just, we give a plethora of clients, so leads pretty much, which most teams do give. But what's nice is that we have a lot of other systems where we give that value as well. Just support as well if there's an issue with a deal. We're not one of those team leaders where we're not gonna get into the mix to fix those issues. Another thing is we believe wholeheartedly in branding and marketing. So another thing I realized is I saw a lot of teams, they don't really individualize their agents, and I think it's so important for an agent to have their own individuality within the team, because at the end of the day, everybody wants their name to be known in the real estate market. So a lot of teams, sometimes they don't allow that. They only let the team leader to have their name, spread out and things like that. So, we've done billboards for our team members. We've done a lot of value to our team members because we care about individuality and letting the agents feel like they also have a name to our name. It's a partnership, so we're big onto that.
Bro, listen, I'm over here, bro. I'm so grateful for this interview, man, because you're hitting
that, man.
You're hitting stuff within like where I'm at, some real things that I needed to hear, and like it's true though, because like what you're saying, like Connor, for instance, like you're giving him a play. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
You're giving him an opportunity. You're putting him on, basically.
Correct.
Man.
And then I also saw a reel where it's like, sometimes leaders can feel like, man, someone could hurt me or play me or whatever the case is. The thing is like at the end of the day, that person still has to put in the work as well. So that's why it's a partnership, is a two-way street. So a lot of times leaders want to receive without giving. So
Yo, he over here. Man.
Yeah, a true leader has to give. It's kind of like just looking. If we look at the Word of God, same thing, man. Is like, Jesus said, "You will increase if I decrease." So it's really making yourself replaceable. Sorry.
Yeah, and that's true. And I'm actually going through that in real time with my virtual assistant. That's another great topic to talk about, because I feel like in the real estate space, a lot of people, they hear about virtual assistants, but they have the wrong idea of how it works. And then they usually don't have a good turnout or a good experience. And I just want to say shout out to my virtual assistant, Myra. She's been absolutely amazing. And
it's key, man. Like I just got one a week ago, and man, my life has changed. I should have done this years ago.
Bro, and that's kind of like, I think, why we've been missing each other, because I've been trying to replace myself, you know what I'm saying, and have all the communication go through the system, so it's like, trying to exit out of like, having my clients on a text basis for business, of course.
Correct.
And it's like, what are some of the strategies going into getting your VA, like, from your coach or whatever the case may be?
Shout out to my coach, Catherine Lucato. She's all the way from Canada. I mean, she has been a vital part to my mindset shift and just giving me nuggets on what a true leader is and what to do with team members and things like that. But she told me about this great company called My Outdesk. It's actually a American-based company, but they pretty much it's pretty much for real estate agents, and pretty much they have 4 facets of assistance that they can help you. So they have ISAs, they have admin, they have people who do bookkeeping, and then they also have marketing. So pretty much the VAs they receive real estate education, and they pretty much already know the lingo. So for my guy that I got, he already had 4 months of experience with his previous realtor. The previous realtor he was working with couldn't pay the bill, so we were able to get him, and he just fit into our culture. He has a great attitude.
ASAP, huh?
ASAP, and he already knows the systems we use. So, um, it's like clockwork, man. If I need anything, he does it right away, and it's a game changer.
For sure.
It really is.
But that, to like what you're saying, like that's why it's so important to what you've already done as far as like building that culture,
Yeah.
you know, that camaraderie between the team.
Correct.
And yeah, he just fit right in. And that's how Myra was for me. Like, you know, she had some experience in some other places,
Right.
you know, went to college, a little professional, and it's like,
same thing.
yo, they're over there working hard.
Yeah,
You know
they
what I
work
mean?
Very hard.
And it's like, if we can really learn how to leverage them, you know, in the right way by spending the right amount of time, you know, really having clarity in what we want. Because I feel like for me, the word for 2023 is definitely like focus, resourceful, and you know, just go, right?
Correct.
What about you? Do you have any like specific words for this new year from the lessons you learned last year?
Yeah. So I think this year, what I learned was, just to really take things back and be grateful. I mean, sometimes, I was the type of person where, if I didn't hit a certain goal or what I wanted, I would get discouraged or whatever the case is. But now I'm just learning to be grateful, and where I'm at is where God wants me to be. So for next year, we're really gonna just expand what we've been doing, and growing and growing other people too, and expansion in all ways, like expanding in our business, expanding in our relationships, expanding in our money, expanding in our net worth, expanding with people we meet, expanding in every way possible. That's the goal for 2023, just expansion.
Expansion. I like that. Man, like, I love it, bro, because like we've been on here 43 minutes. It feels like 5. And
Definitely.
And you're a client now, so it's like this is gonna keep going. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
For anybody that's watching and wondering like what our relationship is like, you know, he came to the content creator realtor, you know, to get some content. But me and my friend, we've just been deep diving into the strategy part, showing him a little bit about how I operate. But like, please, we need your feedback. We need to
Correct.
We need to know what you want to hear next. We need to know what you like. Just tap in. You know, and this podcast, this live show was started, you know, just your network is your net worth. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
You become who you hang around, right? You hang around in the bar long enough, you're probably going to get drunk. You hang out in the barbershop long enough, you're probably going to get a shape up, you know, probably a full fade.
Or become a barber.
Or become a barber.
Or become the owner.
Well, that's what I'm saying, right? It's like you got to hang around owners to become an owner. You know what I mean?
That's right. That's what I wanted to lead to.
Man. And who are some of your greatest influences, Nehemiah?
TD Jakes.
Oh, that's a fact. That's my uncle.
Yeah,
Straight up.
That's my
Uncle
father.
TD. Straight up. That's my guy.
Yeah. Just his ability to transcend the culture and mix everything who he is, right? Like, he's a preacher, but most times preachers stay in that box, and his ability to move out of that. He has built homes and developed homes in Dallas, Texas in 2007, and now he expanded into Atlanta with Tyler Perry. He does movies. He has his own clothing line. He built his ministry off of books. Just the diversity in his arsenal is amazing, and being able to balance all those things out. He does tons of different conferences. He has like women conferences, men conferences. I went to one of his leadership conferences this past year in 2022. I'm going to his conference next year, leadership conference again, and he brought so many different types of people. Denzel Washington. He brought Ben Jones. I mean, heavy hitters, heavy hitters. So his ability to, go secular and still be a powerful influence in the church, in the kingdom of God is kind of my my mantra.
Nice.
Where because a lot of times growing up in church, people just think you can't be successful.
Yeah, all these
correct.
things, right?
Correct, and I think it's even more indicative to be, to show that you could play and also just be a powerful resource to the kingdom. Yeah, so
Man, listen, y'all are tapping in, man, with Nehemiah Lindo.
yeah, that's who I am.
Bro, listen, I've had a great time just busting it up with you, man. Like,
Yeah,
seriously.
We gotta do this more.
Oh, we definitely will be. Shout out to Dan from Loan Depot. Don. Don from Loan Depot, my guy.
Yes, sir.
Came through to support. And just real quick, the network, right? This is the network. Last week we were all at a networking event, right? You go to networking events to grow your business, to grow your relationships. And I was supposed to meet up with my brother like sometime this week, and I was like, man, I'm super tied up. But I have something really important I'm doing, and he remembered you. So he was like, man, I got to come support. I got to come through. So shout out to you. We appreciate you. And Arturo, we got my guy in the building. We got my guy. And if y'all watch, man, Arturo been here plenty of times for some interviews. Photographer, has a studio, That Perfect Shot. And we do a lot of things together. But seriously, I want to thank Kimberly Cantor. And real quick, I want to say, right, if you're trying to network, you're trying to get in the space, check out this event coming up. Kimita's Canvas, Sip and Paint. Let's celebrate Kim's birthday and, have a good time.
Happy birthday, Kim.
Yeah, happy birthday, Kim, because you're tapped all the way in, right? She's tapped in.
Yes, sir.
But seriously, to do these live events, it takes a lot of work to set up and all of that. So just a small sponsorship is able for us to do even more, and we appreciate that, Kim and Brian Petrozelio with Allstate Insurance. So please, if you guys haven't, look at the bottom of the screen, get your free insurance quote, give Kim a text at 267-334-3213, and yeah, tap all the way in, you guys. And Nehemiah, you have any closing words just to that new real estate agent trying to get started and is super overwhelmed?
Before I get there, I just want to give a shout out to Justin, everything that he's doing. We got to support our local fellows and everyone that's in the business. So I wanted to give a shout out to him. Thank you, Justin. But yeah, say that again, the question. Sorry.
Yeah, the new realtor, right?
Yeah. So if I was the new realtor in this market, number one, I will try to vet any real estate teams I can join. I think that's just going to cut the learning curve.
That's a good point. Yeah.
It's going to cut the learning curve. Now, you got to know what type of person you are, and not all teams are the same. A lot of people have a misconception of teams. It really depends on what team you work for, because not all teams are the same. Not all teams have the same culture. So a lot of times people feel like, hey, a team is going to take away my shine. Depends on the team you're on. So that's number one. Number two, you got to be full time, especially in this market. You could be showing homes and you may not be putting offers in this market. Where before you knew you were putting offers, everybody was putting offers. It was just a different market. Rates were low. We were below 3%, low threes, high threes, great rates. So it was a good time to get in, but it's a different time right now. So you have to be full-time. Number three, I will definitely, you got to network and have social media. A lot of agents want to get business without putting in the work, without talking to strangers, without having conversations. And you really got to put your face out there. You really got to show that you're an agent and do it consistently. Literally, if I didn't have Facebook, I would not be close to where I'm at. So social media is a game changer.
Yeah, and that's the great thing about like live video, right? I was telling you, like, it's the engagement. Like, this is gonna live forever, and the fact that you have a lot of people tapping in and supporting you, and then not to mention, we're building out your platform, your digital business card platform, where we can actually host some of these videos. So it's like, yeah, people are gonna be tapped in, and now. Like, this video is leverage. You can send a link to a potential client, like, "Hey, I'm the real deal. Check this out." You know, we're running Reading. The Lindo team is running Reading, and man,
And it just makes people feel like more relatable, right? Like once you start putting that content, and let's say you meet a client for the first time because you have content, they're like, "Oh my god, I already know who this guy is," and that's the power of social media. That's the power, man. And those who take advantage will eat, and we're going to eat.
listen,
We have to.
we gonna be eating.
Yeah, we have to.
Yeah, and that's why, like, it's funny, right? I was watching some of my interviews that I started like 2021, and just seeing the growth and the transformation.
And that's another thing. You see the growth, and people from the outside see the growth. Like, I've done some videos before and now, and people are like, "Oh my god, you're a completely different person."
Your wife ever say that to you?
All the time.
Yeah, but and like, now I'm identifying it like, hey, that's a good thing. You know what I'm saying? That's
Very
a good thing.
And the ability to adapt, right? The market's never the same. Market may be the same for 2-3 years, but it's gonna change. So you have to change with the times, reinvent yourself, whatever you got to do, be adaptable.
Listen, y'all, we're gonna leave off with that. Be adaptable. Be adaptable.
Be adaptable. I like that word, actually.
I like it too.
Yeah.
But real quick, all right, so we hit the new realtor. What about the new team leader, right? The new team leader, they're just starting their team, because now
I still feel like a new team leader. That's a good one. A new team leader, I would say invest that money into a coach. That's number one. If you don't have the right mindset in being a team leader, don't do it, because you can easily blow a lot of money. And I've seen that this year. Honestly, I spent a lot of money, but that's part of my learning process. But to be an efficient team leader, you really have to shift your mind from being an agent to a CEO and to being a business owner, because it's not about just you. It's also about your team, and also willing to take less money for certain deals, right? Like, hey, I'm going to give this to a team leader. Like, let's say if you got a client, and let's say they're approved for $300,000, are you willing to give that client away so that you can focus on bigger things? Or are you going to still be in that mindset where it's like, no, I got to get this, sale, but you're not going to be able to leverage your time, where that client may take up so much time, but because you want to still have that agent mindset, you're not going to be able to grow. So that's one of the shifts I've seen with myself this year. It's not about sales anymore. It's more about building a scalable business.
And you can't do that without systems.
Correct.
So listen, that was love, man. That was a lot of game. Shout out to Wallow and Gilly, because this was definitely $1 million worth of game. And yeah, it's not the last time. Next time, we'll give a little bit more time to market it, so we can make sure people are tapped in. And listen, leave a comment, share it, engage with us. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe, my friend. If you're on Facebook, give us a follow. And, let's just get it. Let's get busy. 2023. I feel like this was a great year. I mean, a great way to end the year, Nehemiah, because, the new year is right around the corner, man. So to be able to do something like this, I feel like is legendary, is monumental, and it's for both of our businesses. It's instrumental. So,
yes.
Thanks for joining me today.
It's a pleasure.
And listen, we all the way up, y'all.
Yeah, let's go.
So 2023, tap all the way in. You're not gonna be. This guy's not gonna be a stranger. You guys are gonna be seeing more of him. You're gonna be seeing more of the whole team, of the whole squad, and in 2023, we want to help you build your team, whatever it is, whatever business it is. Tap all the way in. If you need insurance, hit up Kim.
Yeah, if anyone has any questions, just DM me at Nehemiah.Lindo. That's my handle for Instagram. Or you can search me on Facebook, and we can reach out to you. Help you out.
Awesome, man.